Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, not much has happened on social media lately. It's been particularly interesting. Not much has happened on YouTube. I haven't really felt like talking about anything, but this did get my attention. Lovely little Lourdes, Madonna's delightful little daughter. Remember baby Lourdes? How cute she was. Well, she ain't no cute little kid no more. She's a red-headed, too much makeup wearing, nasty little bitch. Basically, I'm just joking. Basically, she's been going on Madonna's Instagram telling Madonna's fans to suck wild dick. I don't really think that's appropriate to go on your mother's Instagram, especially when she's an international celebrity and so forth, and tell her fans to suck any sort of dick, let alone wild dick. I mean, frankly, I want my dick to be cleaned and well manicured. I don't want to be wild and running loose. I think that's just really disrespectful. But yeah, so she's posting a bunch of pictures and commenting on Madonna's things, and I'm like, did she just grab Madonna's phone while Madonna was having a seniors moment and didn't notice, or did she just be like, well, this will be funny, and just gave it to her and said, go at it? Now, some people are basically saying, oh, leave Lourdes alone, she's been the daughter her whole life, it must be horrible being Madonna's daughter, and you know, you try and do your own things and all you hear from is Madonna fans criticising you or asking you stuff about your mother. So she might have some issues, she might be working out. And like, well, yes, but that's what therapists are for. That's not what Instagram is for. Although I do use my YouTube for therapy, but, you know, I'm trapped in the corona zone still. So I find it funny. Now, I don't know, I do think it's a bit of a sign of disrespect for Madonna's fans. And I do find the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so to speak. We're having a bit of a heat wave here in Melbourne, and I'm hot. I'm trying not to sweat. I'm trying to talk and not sweat. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of horror stories over the years about Madonna, how she treats fans, and I've a few from people I know or have met, and I've heard her say some horrible things. In theory, I've heard from, not in theory, secondhand, I've heard her say some horrible things about her superfans as well. So none of which I've ever repeated because I wouldn't want them to know what she really thinks of them. But it just makes me realise that she does take her queen title seriously, and she basically sees all of us as subjects that should literally bow before her. She does think that way. She doesn't actually get that without us, she would be nothing. She'd be nothing. She would be, I don't know what she'd be. Some people joke she'd still be working in Donut King. She'd just be managing it now, and be a very bitter old lady. But you know, yeah. So I don't really. I think it is a bit of a sign of Madonna's disrespect to fans that she would let her daughter do that, and that Lourdes would even think to do that. That she would think that it's okay to insult fans. Now I know some fans aren't very nice. Now I myself have called Madonna the C word. In the context of she's the biggest C word in the industry, which is why she's always been the biggest female in the industry, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I guess there are some real legitimately nasty fans. Like I get nasty haters and nasty comments, and I'm a nobody. So I can imagine if you're a somebody, you would get inundated with stuff. And even if you're the daughter of a somebody, you'd be inundated with comments and things. And I can kind of understand why Lourdes would have an attitude or a chip on her shoulder or whatever. Maybe she's just having fun with the gays. Maybe she just thinks telling us all to suck wild dick would make us all happy because maybe we like wild dick in general. I don't know. Like I said, I like my dick cleaned and taken care of. I don't want it running wild through the woods. And a bag of dicks? I don't really need a bag of dicks. I just need one nice one. So I'm not quite sure if she thought maybe she was giving the gays what they wanted. They just want a bag of wild dicks. I don't know. But this supplying of dicks needs to stop, because it does look bad press-wise, and if it keeps going, it will be taken seriously. And I think at this point it's sort of a joke, and the people who are taking it seriously are being idiots, and the people who are defending her seriously are just the worst Madonna apologisers, and the worst type of Madonna fans. And let's talk about Madonna fans for a minute, just while she's sleeping instead of editing. Madonna fans are like religious zealots, and I didn't know this because I didn't know any other Madonna fans most of my life. I met a couple on the gay scene, but they weren't the serious ones. They were the ones who were like fans in the 80s and still sort of said they loved her, but actually didn't follow anything. She didn't care about anything that she'd done in the last like 10 or 20 years. So there wasn't that sort of, I don't know, they weren't like current. They weren't real fans following her. But then when I went to the Rebel Heart tour, I suddenly met all the rabid Madonna fans, the ones who were desperate for attention, who needed to feed off her light, the ones who needed to associate themselves with her, and just all those games that went around there and the games she played with them, and just it was just really weird, and the shoving and the pushing and the fighting and trying to get closer to her and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, I was happy to let people step in front of me and look like assholes. I'd rather them do that and stand behind them than be pushed to the front and be the biggest asshole, basically. So some of the people were lovely, but some of them were monsters. Some of them were like basically little Madonnas. They just emulated her whole life and somehow hadn't had reality hit them, because Madonna's been a brat her whole life and reality's never hit her because she's been a star her whole life and she's rich and no one can tell her what to do. Real people, they eventually get told what to do by someone because there's someone above them. There's no one above Madonna. That's why she's like she is. And that's probably why her daughter's ending up like she is. She's starting to act like a bratty kid. Now, it took till her 20s. I guess she kind of missed that phase because she didn't want to be predictable, but she seems to be doing it now in her 20s. But I'm just speculating on a few articles here and there. I don't follow her. I'm not on her Instagram. I don't pay any attention to her. She is her own person. Just because she came out of Madonna doesn't mean anything to me, aside from a small sentimentality when I see her sometimes doing stuff. I'm like, oh, little Lourdes, look what she's become. It's weird. So it's weird. Like my relatives have kids the same age as Madonna. They start having kids like the same year as her. So it's just weird to watch kids grow up and watch Madonna's kids grow up at the same time, and it's really weird. And it must be weird to grow up in the spotlight and have people have a familiarity with you even though they don't know you, and to have this weird sort of... So she probably has some stuff she's working out, and if she can do that in a manageable way, fine. But if she's going to start getting nasty with fans, and once you pick that fight, it does not end. So it will not end well. At the moment, it just looks like some fun, but I thought it was worth commenting on because I thought it was kind of funny. And onto the Madam X thing, the whole coming soon is not really cutting it for me. I want a date. I was talking to a friend who was pointing out all the sales elements, and they have to have a certain period of time once something has a date that's released and shops and all that. And I'm like, what if it's not being released on DVD and CD? What if it's just being released on download, and maybe through some smaller sort of service that doesn't sort of need that sort of distribution and that time. So I'm like, or is Madonna just being slack and it really is far away and she's just saying coming soon because she just likes to lie to us and make us wait? Or are they actually doing it a little differently so they don't need as much time? Or am I thinking too much because I actually want to see this damn thing? Because as much as I criticise it for being like a kid's play on a theatre stage, you know, I haven't seen every minute of it. I've just seen a few minutes of each number. And I would like to see the whole thing. I want it to be good. I want it to be more than like the promotional tour, which is what I've been referring it to, the Madam X promotional tour. But yeah, I can't believe I've talked for 8 minutes about this. I was thinking, God, is this enough to even do a video on? Whatever, I'm still talking. But yeah, Madonna, keep your kids off the Instagram, please. Give them their own Instagram. Lourdes was old enough to not be a twat, but she's probably just having fun. But if it keeps going, it's obviously a sign of contempt for the fans, and it's just like mother, like daughter, probably. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.